Welcome friends, it is Sunday morning, so we're going to do another one of our post-depression pre-World War II recipes, and this week we're doing one from the Elmvale Community Cookbook, published in 1939, and we're going to make macaroni and cheese with tomato. Now this was published in 1939, which is just as Canada was entering World War II. We entered World War II in 1939. So some of these recipes show the austerity of what's coming, and a little bit of hope that they've made it out of what just happened. So into that pot, I've got salted boiling water. I put in some elbow macaroni. In this pot, on sort of medium-low heat, I'm going to put in some red onion that's just sliced up, and it says half a can of tomatoes. Now, it doesn't say what size the can of tomatoes needs to be, just half a can. So let's see if that works. It says just to cook this together, and I imagine that's just to get the onion to soften. It also says to put in some salt and pepper. So we'll let that cook away for a little bit. Now in this pot, we're going to make a roux. So first off, I'm going to melt this butter. Okay, the butter is melted, so we put in some flour, and we just stir this and cook it until the flour starts to brown. Okay, just a few more seconds until that flour is cooked and starting to brown. The macaroni is done, so I'm going to turn that off and I'm going to drain it. And I'll just leave that over the pot there for a moment. This looks pretty good now, so in go the tomatoes. And it says to stir, cook, and mix this together until it starts to thicken. And it starts to thicken almost immediately. So I'm going to turn the heat off to this, and we'll just let this sit while I grate the cheese. Okay, I think I've got all of the components ready. Now, it doesn't say what size of a baking dish to put it in. So I'm going to try this 8 by 8. I'll put the macaroni in first and see how it fills it up. Yeah, 8 by 8 is going to be the right size. Now, it says to mix in the cheese. So, we'll mix the cheese in. So mix the cheese in. The macaroni's still hot, and the cheese is going to start to melt into the macaroni almost immediately. Now, it just says to pour the tomato mixture over top. It doesn't say to mix it in. So I guess we just plop this on top. It is quite thick. It's very thick. Spread it out. Interesting. And mix on some buttered breadcrumbs. Now this just goes in the oven, it says, until it's heated through and the breadcrumbs are crispy.
It smells pretty tomatoey. Looks pretty tomatoey.
It is pretty tomatoey. A little bit of cheese.
Okay, is it fork or spoon?
I'm going to say spoon.
You're not sure?
I'm not sure. I don't think it's going to hold together enough for a fork. I think this is, well, maybe it holds together better than I thought it was going to.
So I brought forks and spoons. It looks like it's got all the right things, though. Tomatoes, cheese, macaroni?
Tomatoes, cheese, macaroni.
What else? I mean,
an onion with...
It sounds like it should be fine.
It'll still be kind of hot.
Oh, yes, it's steamy. It's perfectly fine.
Okay. I got halfway in, and I thought, this is going to be really bland because there's only salt and pepper in it.
Your tone suggested that you were concerned.
I was concerned. I thought, there's only salt and pepper in it. You've made a roux with the tomato sauce to thicken the tomato sauce, and it's going to be goopy. It's going to be goopy and flavorless.
Even hot, it's not goopy.
No, it is actually quite nice.
You sound so surprised.
I am surprised, but no. So I made this exactly as the recipe because that's what this series is about. I would take this method, make it again, and throw some of those other things in that we always associate with tomatoes and noodles.
Why?
Just to elevate it a little bit. But I guess you don't have to because it is.
If you're looking for a comfort food, this is what you're looking for.
This is very comforting.
You could, go all that way and add all sorts of other flavors, some basil and some.
You could, yes.
You could.
You could do that. You could, but I don't want to undersell it. It is. I am surprised that it is as good as it is. It is very comforting.
It's a very lovely comfort food, like warm. I would, yeah. I'll be having this for lunch tomorrow.
This is like
for
October
sure.
at the cottage after you've taken the dogs out.
Yeah.
And you just need something.
It makes you feel happy.
I feel ripped off because it was 3 pots on the stove and then this thing that went in the oven.
It was a lot of work.
It felt like I used a lot of utensils to make something that was very simple.
So maybe maybe your task is not to add more flavor to it because it sounds, but how to simplify it so that it is a one-pot wonder. That would be, I don't know.
I'm digging this. So as much as I was apprehensive, I'm going to finish this and I'm going to really enjoy it. And I will make it again. So, thanks for stopping by. See you again soon.